Okay, this is a review for the BLON Mini. It is the newest release from BLON, made famous by the O3. And it's weird shape and it's ghetto cable. This actually comes with a cable that's identical to the one that comes with the Moondrop SSR and SSP, which I have right there. It's the exact same cable. This fits very good. It's like an Etymotic with a little safety curve right here, because when I put an Etymotic in my ear, I feel like it's going to slip, pierce my eardrum, keep going, pierce my brain, I'm dead. That's over. That's what I feel like. Etymotic scares me, though it's tuned quite well. The fit is not my thing. And if you come in and say, why don't you try the new one, I'm actually gonna try it. So the fit of this is fantastic. Comes with a cable that's better than anything they've released. It's $29. Do I wreck it? Yeah, 29 bucks I would, but listen to what I say, because this is where I give my opinion. Listening to bass, I thought it sounded fine. Bass guitar for Sultans of Swing sounded good. The drop sounded good for Big Boy. The Hatsune Miku, the Vocaloid, which is a computer-generated female voice, which could be really offensive, was actually not a problem. The thing that jumped out, so bass is fine. It's done by a micro driver. It's tuned more than the O3 and the O1 and its elevation, but it has to be because it's being taken care of by a very small driver. And it doesn't sound as potent as the O1 or O3. It sounds more polite. That might be appealing. The mids don't sound like really a problem, actually, either. I listened to Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf, and I'm listening to it in my OCD order because I want to hear the drum and the bass play. And I want to hear if they sound like they're merging into one blob, or just like laying over each other like a couple wet blankets and fucking up the whole replay. No, actually it sounded fine. What did occur was that Ozzy stepped out and made himself known to me. And and I never do that, I noticed Ozzy while I was getting ready to listen to the drum and the bass play. And I noticed him. Can you understand what I'm saying? My focus was stolen because of Ozzy's voice, who is like Neil Young and Bob Dylan. He's got that voice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and show you. This is a FLAC of Sweet Leaf. That's the exact same file that I'm listening to when I evaluate. And this is, maybe you can hear this. I've isolated the actual affected area by the peak. As you can hear, there is info there, and it's his vocals, and it's a trip as hell because I've listened to a lot of other files that I assumed would be up here, and they're really not. A meat of them is not here. Female vocals, like with high octave range, and not something about Ozzy Osbourne. So it's there, and it pulled me out. And to give you a little look, oh God, stop that. Stop it. This is a comparison between the O1 and the O and the Mini. You can see the bass of the Mini is more elevated, but keep in mind it's a smaller micro driver, so it doesn't sound, it probably sounds like it's a little bit lower. And then the profile from there all the way up to the gain is the same. And then you get to here and you've got this peak. It doesn't play out in Eddie Van Halen solo. It does sometimes play out on cymbals and gives them more energy. It plays out on acoustic guitar in a good way by giving it a little bit of bite. But this is exactly the spot where Ozzy Osbourne was put upon me while I'm listening for a bass and drums that should be affecting this area. And the quality of this area is going to really affect almost the whole replay, but particularly all the way out into the upper mids. And it wasn't actually doing that. But in the process of doing that, I was pulled to this peak by Ozzy Osbourne. And then I thought, I can listen to that and just that spot of that exact same track. So why don't we do that? And then I did that. And then it was kind of like that fingers on a... Yeah, holy crap. If you don't listen to Ozzy Osbourne, you don't have a problem. Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo sounded fine. Vocals, Stevie Nicks, and here you go again. You say you want your free eat 'em. That's what I thought was going to get on my nerves. It didn't. This did, and your library in particular, if you've got moments or energy up there, or you listen to Ozzy, that will step out to you. And cymbals sometimes will step out to you. I don't really find it to be a problem with guitars or really anything else. But this whole thing was built to point out when I think something is doing something in the wrong way, and everything actually does. I just am not great with the headphone measurements yet, so I can't take those and port that over to this yet. But that time is coming. But with IEMs, I can do that. So this has a peak that doesn't DQ it from being wrecked, but it does put a red flag next to it and say, you need to be aware of this. Its elevation is not... Let's take a look at something that's semi-known for... This was a killer for me because of the amount of gain that it's got, and also it's got a lack of bass, and so it's like a double thing for me. One, it's playing on my weak point, which is the gain region, and then it's taking away bass, so it's really making me focus on the gain. This is where I'm not okay with this area being this elevated, and this area being so. This kind of got me in two different ways, but it's in the same price range, and it also fits great like this set, so it kind of came to mind. And then also it's got the same cable, so there were a couple things that were like jumping out to me. But this actually is just like an 01 except for this one point. So keep that in mind. Educated maneuvers with your money. $29 is not much for a lot of people. For you people, I think, go ahead and grab it, give it a listen, pull down the EQ, and that one adjustment via EQ might be enough for you to say, this is my favorite BLON of all of them, because it fits great. It comes with a nice cable. I never have to... You could do all kinds of sports with it. It's not going to come out because it fits so secure. But you'd have to make one pull down, and it would be right there. And you might not have to, but with me, if I were going to listen to this for a long amount of time, Ozzy's going to come up or something like that, I would pull that down a little bit. So it gets a wreck with caution to pay attention that that's going to be something that some people might want to pay attention to. And with that, I'm out.